What's going on with y'all? Welcome back to another video. And if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Ashanti, and I talk about whatever resonates with me at the moment. Today, I want to talk about you can be better than your circumstances. You can be better than any situation you're in right now if you just use the proper mental tools. If you have the mental tools to succeed, you can be better than any situation you're in right now, and that's just a hard fact. Like, that's just the truth, honestly. I feel like a lot of us, we get caught up in the now, and we're not thinking about long term. We just know that it hurts. It bothers us, you know what I'm saying? And it's easier to steer off your path than it is to hunker down on your mental tools and really put them into effect, really see if they work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I went to therapy and I was telling myself over and over again, like, oh, like, I'll get to the homework later, or I'll get to this situation later, and then I'll go through the situation and I'm like, oh, I'm not using my mental tools, so that's why this fell through, or that's why this went so bad. And you know, I feel like if we were to take our mental tools seriously, then we can be better than any situation we're in. And if you don't have any mental tools, don't worry, I got you with 3 that can get you started, and you can see how they work out for you. If not, you know, at least you can say that you tried, and that's a good thing about all of this too. At least you can say that you tried to do it. So without further ado, I'm about to get into these 3 tools for y'all. The first tool is consistency, and I know it's something so small, but being consistent can start so much in your life. Just like if you have a job, right? You're consistently showing up to work every day, consistently working those hours every day. That can carry out through everything in your life if you just let it. Consistency is a form of repetition. It's just a form of mental repetition. It's a routine eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you are consistent with everything, it starts trickling down to other things that really matter. So if you're consistent with going to work, then you can practice on being consistent with saving money, and then you can practice being consistent with learning something new, and now you have a new skill. And the thing about this is, everything that I have listed today, they all coincide with each other. So with your mental tools, as long as you remember one, the other ones are going to come through, because they all are related to each other. Once you keep doing positive habits over and over again, it will stick with you and make being disciplined easier, because with discipline is doing the things that we don't want to do but we know we need to do. So with you being consistent with doing things in general, it can trickle down to being disciplined, because you're doing the things consistently that you don't want to do but you need to do. I know we don't want to work that 9 to 5, but that 9 to 5 is going to get us to a point where we can stay disciplined and consistent with saving money. And then boom, you take that money, you invest into something, or you take that money and you're consistently investing into something instead of saving. I mean, it's the same thing, but you see how they all go together. And then eventually you won't have to work that 9 to 5. You're good. That's my first one, is consistency. The second one is very, very simple. You could do it with a sheet of paper. You can do it with a little notebook you got laying around. You can do it with anything. And that's journaling. It's very simple, but it will carry you a long way. Being able to write down your thoughts can alleviate so much stress. It can alleviate so much stress off of you, especially if you don't have the space where you can talk about your thoughts and feelings freely. Journaling is somewhere where you can really get that off of your chest. It's giving your thoughts a safe space when you're in difficult times, mentally and or physically. So journaling is one of those things that's up there for me. I journal every day. I've been doing this journaling challenge where I'm journaling every day for the next 30 days, and it has come clutch. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm doing it every day. Not every day is going to be a bad day. And that's true. Not every day is going to be a bad day. Since I've been journaling every day, I can really get my thoughts down on a sheet of paper easier because that's something I'm being consistent with. I'm being consistent with it every day. So it makes going through hard times and struggle easier for me just because I know I have a safe space to keep my thoughts. And if you need to, you can get you a little lockbox or find a little nook, cranny, a drawer, something to keep your thoughts under if you don't have the space to be able to lay your journal around and somebody checks it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, find somewhere to put it safely so that way you can freely express yourself, because I'm telling you, once you really freely express yourself, journaling is clutch for sure. The third mental tool that I want to talk about is finding an inexpensive hobby. I know we all have hobbies. We already have hobbies, right? But think about this hobby as something that you can be consistent with over a course of time that's gonna add value, right? So I'm reading this book right now and it's called Mad Honey. And she was going through a difficult time mentally. You know, she was being, let's just say, hurt by her dad. And she tried to hurt herself. So when that didn't succeed, you know, she was like, finally, I need therapy. And her therapist told her to find something that you could just lock into, give your all into it, because you have to fake it till you make it, right? That's what the book was saying. You have to fake it till you make it. So she plays the cello and she decided, I'm young, I'm gonna be the first one to play this piece on the cello that's impossible for people to finish. It's a whole like 25-minute piece of just playing the cello to, like, you're playing your heart out on the cello. And you know, we should do the same things with this hobby, this inexpensive hobby. And the reason why I put it as inexpensive is because, you know, some of us, if we're going through a situation, you know what I'm saying, we're struggling, then we probably don't have the means to have an expensive hobby. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to go to an arcade and play arcade all day or whatever the case. I'm saying inexpensive hobbies, things that can be accessible to everybody. And to get started with these hobbies, you only need one thing and it costs little money. I don't know if y'all know, but you can go back on my channel and see I was playing basketball. Basketball was something at the time that was an inexpensive hobby. We had footballs, we had basketballs because my brother did sports. I played basketball or whatever. So that was something that I used to do every day. And what I was doing was teaching myself how to like be a good dribbler. So I was out there doing drills. I was doing shooting drills, things of that nature. And I remember my brother at the time, he thought it was corny that I was out there doing it. But when I started whooping his tail in basketball, he was upset. I was going through a hard time. So having basketball really distracted my mind, you know what I'm saying? And y'all can find something that's inexpensive to y'all. So I have a list of a few things that y'all could do. You can do basketball. All you need to do is you can go to Five and Below and get a basketball for $5. You can garden. Dollar Tree has a whole bunch of seeds for $1. They have a whole bunch of buckets for $1. They have things where you can makeshift. Everybody has like probably a lighter or something laying around. You can make your own buckets for $1. You can watch something grow. You know, gardening has helped me drastically too in these times or whatever. You know, because we're all going to go through something. It doesn't matter where we're at in life. We're all going to go through something. But gardening has been something that has been beautiful to watch grow. And it also has been slow gratification for me. So gardening is definitely something that I would recommend. Reading. I just said that I was reading a book. Reading can be inexpensive if you have a library card. Use your local library. They need you and you need them. Use your local library. You know, sometimes I get it for the low. Sometimes I get it for the low, but use, everybody can get a library card. Just get a library card, bro. And if you have like a local recycled reader, then you can go there and get books for like $4, $5, $3, $2. You know what I'm saying? For the low ski. So read a book. Number 4, learning a skill. That junk free. Download some Duolingo. Learn some German. Learn some Japanese. Learn some Spanish. We need people that are bilingual, bro. Learn some Spanish. Learn a trade. You got so many YouTube videos of people teaching people how to use the what's it called? The stock market, trading. You can learn a trade of like how to do digital marketing, how to be, I don't know. But there's a lot of things that you can learn out there. You can learn any kind of trade. I'm pretty sure they have courses for free, you know, with some things, so you could do that. But yeah, man, those are 3 tools, mental tools that you could use to make your situation better for the time being. And you can go far. You can go far with it, because once you're consistent, then learning that skill is not going to be hard. You're going to stay disciplined and down with that skill that you're learning. And then boom, you can make that skill profitable. You can turn reading into profit. You can read and do TikTok videos. You can do book reviews. You can make your own blog. Like, most of the time, if we're in a situation we have nothing but time because we're always in our head, why not turn that into profit? Why not take the things that we're using as mental tools and profit off of them? You get what I'm saying? These things help us in the long run. You know, let's be real. Most people aren't really working jobs right now. The job market is plummeting, and most people are becoming entrepreneurs. You know, I recommend, you know, taking these 3 mental tools, putting them to effect. Let's just say 60 days, right? You know, 21 days makes a habit, but let's just say 60 days you put this into play, and then after that you can decide whether or not you want to keep doing it. And when you do, come back and let me know if you decide to keep doing it or not. But the reason I'm making this video right now is because I went to deliver an order for Instacart. I went to the location, but I couldn't find where the person was because I'm thinking it's a house. No, it's a homeless lady. She ended up ordering something or whatever. Went to the location. I seen she had a big garden. She's growing tomatoes. She's growing bell peppers. She's growing cucumbers on the street. In the nook of the street. She's gardening, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful because I'm growing stuff too. And her stuff is sprouting. She has a husband. She has a son. The thing about it is, I was sitting there thinking, and it's so crazy because even though she's in a bad situation, she's using her mental tools to put her in the right situation. You know what I'm saying? Some people that are on the street are not on the street because they chose to be. Sometimes things just happen. You know, sometimes you might get kicked out, you know what I'm saying? You might be staying with people and they kick you out, you know? But she's turning her misfortune into fortune. She's literally making her situation very fruitful. So she's growing these crops. She could use these crops to feed her family, right? But anybody that knows about gardening is plentiful. So even though you might take 1 to 2 or 3 cucumbers, you're gonna grow a boatload of cucumbers. She can take that to the farmer's market. Every time she sells something, is making money at the farmer's market, right? But even then, she can still go on the street and sell her produce herself. She doesn't have to go to a third party to do so. She can sell it herself. Boom. Now she has enough money to put her and her family into a hotel room. Now she has enough money to get her and her family some food. And the crazy thing about it is, I never thought, what if she already is selling produce and that's how she got the money to get the order? She's taking her mental tools and not feeling bad about herself in the situation. She's growing. And it's just beautiful to see. We're all crops, you know what I'm saying? In a way, we're all growing. We're all trying to bloom and blossom and be something beautiful. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope y'all stay tuned the whole video. And until next time, peace.